Hey everyone, today we're going to go over why it's an incredibly good idea to go after low body fat percentages. But before I get into that, I just want to welcome you to Unfolding Destiny. This is where we teach you how to build your life within the context of your true identity. So lately I've been getting a lot of messages from people I never knew were even watching my videos, people I hadn't spoken to in a very long time, and they're just sending me these direct messages saying, hey, keep it up, keep it going. Your videos are inspiring me, they're motivating me. So that motivates me to work even harder. I appreciate all the feedback that I've gotten. It seems like this is doing a positive thing for you. So I just want to keep it going. I want to keep the momentum going. So first and foremost, I want you to know that I'm not some fitness professional. I'm not a fitness expert. This is not a fitness channel. In fact, Unfolding Destiny is just my own personal journey towards self-transformation that I'm pretty much just documenting along the way, and I'm sharing it with you. If you follow me on Instagram, my profile is numer.co, or if you got me on Facebook, YouTube, I'm pretty much sharing all this stuff along the way. If you want a specific snapshot into these types of conversations where I'm direct to camera and there's like a lights, camera, action going, then follow me on Unfolding Destiny specifically. So without further ado, today I want to talk about what it takes to get into really low percentages of body fat and why it's such a compelling, such a noteworthy goal. So I want to kind of take you back down memory lane. I wasn't always fit. I guess I'm kind of fit now, but I wasn't always fit. As a matter of fact, a few years ago, I was pushing 224 pounds. If I remember correctly, I was actually 223.9 pounds. So it's been quite a journey since then. Since then, like as of today, I'm like 169 pounds. I'm around 11.4% body fat. A couple days ago, it was 10.9%. So it kind of fluctuates. My goal is to get to 6% body fat, and it's taken everything in me to get there. So I kind of want to share the journey that I went through and all the things that I went through in order to get to at least where I am now and where I hope to get to. And I want to explain to you, I just kind of want to pull the curtains back and show you what happens during different phases of your journey as you go towards lower percentages of body fat. But the most important thing for me is that I need to convey to you what it does in terms of the effect that getting in shape has on every other area of your life and within the context of your own identity. And so I got to put it straightforward here. By dropping weight, significant amounts of weight, and putting on muscle and actually getting to a low body fat percentage, it will not only will it transform every other area of your life, it'll also require you to transfer every other area of your life. So I remember years ago, back in 2008, I had decided to give up soda, and I haven't drank it since then. There was this one time when we were filming a movie in the Poconos. It was with a bunch of friends of mine. It was called Holly, and then in that one movie, there was a moment where I took a sip of some like Dr. Pepper, but I don't even count that. Like since 2008, I haven't drank soda. And here's what your mind will do to you when you decide to make some sort of a transformation. It's crazy. What ends up happening is that when I gave up soda in 2008, what did it for me was I was watching a seminar in which the speaker said, one can or bottle or something, one can of Coca-Cola is so acidic. So much acid is in that one can that it takes around 24 glasses of water to neutralize it. And I was like, well, I don't even drink one glass of water a day, let alone 24. You know what? If this is going to harm me that much, let me just stop it. So I used to be a big time soda drinker, 2 or 3 cups a day. I used to love Pepsi. I used to binge drink Pepsi. I gave it up entirely. And so for the first few years, by the way, I'm not talking days or weeks, I'm talking years, I used to have dreams. My body was fighting the urge so badly that I used to have dreams in which I drank a Pepsi. Pepsi was my drink of choice. And in that dream, if I felt a little relieved, but when I woke up, I felt so bad. I felt so bad and I hated myself. I was like, or maybe hate's a strong word, but I was so disappointed. I was like, dude, I was doing so well, and then now I just drank a soda. I broke my streak. I broke my streak, and then I realized, wait a minute, it was just a dream, and that just it made me realize, wow, the extent to which your brain will go to fight back the very thing that you want to do. So anything that you do in life that requires that gives you a transformation also requires you to transform along the way. It requires you to give up things, and especially if you're giving up a really bad habit, then everything in your body and your mind and your life is going to kind of come and try to take you away from that. I mean, I gave up the soda, now I'm suddenly going to parties where there's soda being offered, and I'm not taking any of it. So it was hard, and this is years ago. This is back when I was still heavier, and now, in 2008, 2009, I went through these modes where like I would lose a bunch of weight, gain it back, lose a bunch of weight, gain it back, and it was just exhausting. I remember like I was fat, and then I finally got down to like maybe like 160-ish or so, and then this is probably around 2007-ish, 2008, and then I just gained it all back because I was trying to go after an effect or something that was like external. So I think starting out, when you go through the journey, you're going to have many reasons to want to lose weight. Maybe you just want to look good. Maybe you just want other people to notice you. And you know what? At the beginning, that might actually be a good motivator for you. If that is what motivates you, then go for it. By all means, let that be the thing that makes you transform. So be it. But what I'll also let you know is that it's not the thing that's going to stay most consistent. It's not going to be the biggest motivator long term. Because eventually what happened is that for me, so I want to share another aspect of my story. So years passed, I gain weight, lose it, gain it, and then like suddenly like around 2-3, let's just say 2 years ago, I was at my peak weight. I mean, I had never been fatter in my entire life. I mean, my cheeks were chubby and my gut was filling out of my pants, and I've had friends reach out to me and just ask me like if they could help me. Like I remember my friend Chris, he tried to get me to buy some of his products that he was selling because he felt bad for me. And so I also remember being at the gym. Have you guys ever been in a situation where obviously, like, all right, maybe you're not in the best shape. I sure as hell wasn't. I was fat. And because I wasn't in the greatest shape, not even by a long stretch, what would happen is all the personal trainers at the gym would come after me. They would come up to me, hey, bro, let me give you some advice. Hey, let me invite you to an hour introductory session. Hey, let me give you a half hour here. Hey, here's what you could do. Like, it was unsolicited advice. I just kept getting advice after advice after advice because, I'm bigger, so obviously I want to lose weight. It's just apparent. So let me just go after this guy and try to help transform his life. But the thing is, now, even those personal trainers, they couldn't really solve the underlying problems. Now, by the way, I've met some incredible personal trainers, and these people mean well. They do. And if they saw within me something that needed to be transformed, then I appreciate them all coming after me. What I realized was that personal trainers in themselves, they can only do so much. They can help you work out, they can get you stronger and faster, and they do a great job. And if you can find a great personal trainer who believes in you, then by all means get one. One thing I noticed though was for me, the weight wasn't really coming off. And the reason for that is that, my diet hadn't changed. I actually did sign up for one personal trainer, and he was the coolest guy in the world, Jeff Klauser. He was the one who didn't solicit me. I actually went up to him and 409 Fitness, and he's great. I mean, if you ever want to go after some personal training sessions, I would look him up. He's phenomenal. He's definitely one of the, he knows his stuff. And I learned a lot by working with him as well, but still, the one thing that I needed for myself was to figure out how to transform my body in a consistent way. And one of the things I noticed was that 2 years ago, I just about had it. Like, I remember standing around, and this is probably a day when I had like my second honey bun, and I just had this like a moment where I just kind of like snapped, and I was like, well, not snapped. I didn't snap, but internally I was like, all right, I think I figured out what's going on here. And I realized, you know what? I think I'm an addict. It just light bulbs went off. Yes, I'd gotten rid of soda years ago, but Who cares about that? If I'm eating 2 honey buns a day and I'm eating cookie after cookie and I'm eating pizza after pizza, man, like I would eat an entire medium pizza from Seasons with the fries, and like where was the end? There was no end in sight, and it was just bad. That day back in 2018, it must have been around May or June. I was like, I'm done. And so for the next 8 months, I actually went cold turkey. I stopped eating bread entirely, went completely on keto and or paleo, and I was strict. And I burned off a lot of fat. And I got to the point where people started noticing, and it was incredible. Anywhere I went, people were like, "Oh my God, what happened to you?" And I got to the point where, with clothes on, with my shirt on, I looked fit, and it was incredible. Like, and it was transformational for me. But one thing I knew was that I still wanted more. I still wanted to reach lower body levels of body fat. And it honestly got harder. I started to plateau, but the cool thing is I was still coasting along. I was cruising around 175-ish or so. Sometimes I'll lose a little bit more weight and my cheeks will look a little bit more thin, and that was great. But it became cyclical. I just couldn't get out of that 170-ish to 75-ish zone. It was very hard. And what I realized was that what got me to 170-ish, 175-ish, that I couldn't use that same approach and get to 6% body fat, which is where I want to get to. It took a different level of dedication. And so right now, I'm probably the leanest I've ever been, but I've also put on muscle as well. So I've been doing a lot. And one of the things I realized was that as you go about this journey, as you start to drop into lower levels of body fat, suddenly there can be no more cutting corners. See, this is one of the most impossible things you'll ever do. I'm telling you, this is so hard that some days when I look at my journey, I think, wow, Namer, you're really doing something that's so, this is next to impossible. Only I know what I do because I live my life, but it's so impossible, yet at the same time, it's possible. That's how I want you to think about it. There's a lot of suck that comes along with this journey, but it's so transformational. I had to stop cutting corners. So before I got to this point, I remember there were other motivational factors. Like I started full contact fighting, and that brought me down to like 165, well, 161-ish, I guess I weighed in. But that was aggressive water cutting, and I went on like a 2-day fast, and there was a lot. See, what they don't tell you is that, yes, in Hollywood, yeah, sure, you can get ripped for a movie, but what happens after the movie, or what happens after the fight? See, if we don't resolve the underlying issue that's holding us back from transformation, we're going to constantly rebound. Now, if you've got a major fight coming up, or if you're going to star in a movie, then sure, you've got some great external motivation to really get into shape. That's what Henry Cavill does. That's what Hrithik Roshan does, the Bollywood actor. That's what, what was it, Kumail Nanjiani, the guy from, what's that show? Silicon Valley. He also, he just got mad ripped because he's about to become a superhero or a bad guy in a superhero movie or something. The thing is, yes, when you have a big external motivator like a goal, you're going to be firing up on all cylinders. Then you're going to watch every calorie. You're going to watch your weight. You're going to measure your scale, your biceps. You're going to measure everything. But what happens when the film is done? Are you going to go back to your old ways? And more than likely, what I found was that, yes, I would rebound. After my fight, I gained 10 pounds again. I was back to 175. And sure, once again, I'll say, yes, I did lose, I didn't gain much weight back because I knew what it was like to get back towards 224. And I swore I'd never get down that path again, and I won't, and I never will. I'm going to make sure that I'm always lean. But at the end of the day, man, I still wasn't lean enough. And I want to let you know some things that happened along the way, which were incredible, which should motivate you as well. See, as I started to get leaner, things in my life started to, crazy things started to happen, like good things, like opportunities that I was shut down from before suddenly became more accessible, which is crazy. And I hate to say it, but people started to say, hey, Namer, something's different about you. You seem a little bit more, I don't know, calm or collected. No, I'm just as, passionate as I've ever been. It's just, I lost the weight. And The thing is, you can't blame people for seeing you in a new light. When you lose weight, when you transform your body, it transforms every other area of your life. What does it say about you when you transform your body in this way? Well, people see you as fit, so they might see, all right, this person must be organized. Oh, he packed his meals. That means he must plan ahead. Oh, okay. And of course, if you are fit, then what does that say about the way you talk about yourself to yourself? What does that say about your self-talk? See, I love myself. I constantly encourage myself. I couldn't get down to lower levels of body fat hating myself. And so what does that say about yourself? And so what this does is it makes other people realize, all right, if this person could do this in this area of his life, what could it mean in other areas of your life? So I want to let you know that by you losing the fat and actually getting down to a point where there's low enough body fat, you're going to inspire a lot of people, you're going to impress a lot of people, but ultimately it's not for that. It's for the ripple effect of what it does for your whole life collectively. And I want to let you know though, after the whole martial arts thing, me fighting my first full contact fight and I rebounded again, I started looking deeper. And what I found was that for me, once I started sharing my journey with you on camera, once I started meeting other people and started sharing my progress and sharing them with them my beliefs as well and things of that nature, then I suddenly had a newfound drive. You see, through Mixotype, which is the shirt that I'm wearing, I want to help people reach their potential. I want to help them unlock their potential and help them become the best versions of themselves. As a fighter, I want to win fights. I want to be in that arena. I want to knock people out. And I don't want my weight to hold me back. I want to be a leader of people, of men and women. And so in order for me to be that level of person, I need to dig really deep. For me, my why is I need to practice what I preach. So I fast, I count my calories. At the point where I'm going now, which is towards 6% body fat, every number on the scale matters, every metric matters. I gotta measure how many times I've eaten in a day. I gotta measure the amount of calories. I gotta make sure that I'm in a caloric deficit. I know through personal experience that my metabolic rate's around 23, 24. That's my resting rate. Anything around above 2,300, 2,400 calories, I'm actually gaining weight. If I want to eat towards maintenance, I would probably say 25, 26 is exact maintenance. Anything beyond that, I'm definitely putting on weight. 25, 26, I'm not losing weight. 23 and below, I'm starting to lose some weight. To have the most dramatic effect, I need to be well below that. And so I need to make sure that I'm measuring my calories and I'm not just like relapsing. So what do? These are little tricks that I figured out. I figured out that cravings only last so long. And sometimes they'll come out in your dreams as well, so you gotta watch your brain. But during a day, what I might do is if I'm craving something, I'll just sit there for a moment, close my eyes or even open them, right? If I don't want to be seen as crazy at work or whatever, but I'll just take a moment to just collect myself and I'll just sit and silently observe my thoughts. I'll silently observe my thoughts and see them for what they are. I'll look at the craving in the eye and I'll just let it voice itself. I won't suppress it. I won't repress it. I'll just say, listen, just yell, scream, shout, whatever. After about 15 minutes, the cravings subside because a tantrum child can only put on a tantrum for so long. And now I'm coasting. Now I'm smooth sailing, right? And I found that you don't have to necessarily give up what you love. This morning, what did I have for breakfast? Well, I'll kind of show you, but I had a chicken patty with bread around it, right? Oh, bread's the worst thing in the world, but whatever. That's what I had. 400 calories. And then, hold on. I had a little cup of ice cream. You know, it's 100 calories in that cup. So, and some cucumbers. And cucumbers are so low in calories that I don't even count them. But like, that right there, what is that? 500 calories. Okay, well after that, guess what? The sugar, salts, and fat in that ice cream and that meal, they spike my insulin and they maybe want to crave more. They're like, oh, no, you can just have another ice cream, it's another 100 calories. And I realized, you know what? Let me write this down. Let me stare my craving in the eye. And suddenly, after about 20 minutes, it died. And now I'm shooting this video, so I'm definitely not going to be eating when I'm presenting to you. So now another 20 minutes have gone by. And so these are the little hacks you figure out along the way. But I want you to know that going from 223.9 to even 180, yes, it took discipline. it took a lot of strategy. I was fasting, I was watching what I was eating, and then things like that. But I want, I don't do much cardio even today. I don't run a lot. I do mostly heavy exercises because I want to grow mass. But my weight comes off of my eating. Should I eat a 600 calorie muffin and then go run? It takes so long to burn off 600 calories, I might as well just not eat the muffin, right? And I also found other things about myself. So as I was losing the weight and I was fasting, I suddenly hit these major leg cramps, like to the point where like I could barely walk. And if you know about leg cramps, I mean, they are painful to the point where like you would see me limping around. And in my job, I lift heavy boxes and I'm on my feet all day long. So I don't have the luxury of just being able to just kind of coast on by. But these leg cramps are so bad that I would be in agonizing pain just crawling up the steps to bed. And I couldn't figure out why. Well, when you drop to lower levels of body fat and you're fasting a lot, you're depleting yourself of minerals. So I figured out that I needed magnesium, and not just any magnesium, that's magnesium malate. And I take 3 of these a day. That's 3 tablets, so around 1,200 milligrams a day. And we are so depleted in magnesium that, especially at lower levels of body fat, you're low in that mineral, you're going to start cramping up. And so that resolved my cramps. So that was after almost a year, like once or twice a week, my legs would cramp up heavily. And I thought I didn't know what was going on. I thought maybe I had a muscular neurological disease or something. It was scary. And so when you drop down to lower levels of body fat, your hormones kick in, your psychology changes, your physiology changes. You start to learn more things about your body that you wouldn't at higher levels of body fat. But what I want you to know is that it's so transformational, it's so valuable because you can do it. I said earlier it's impossible, but it's impossible to the extent that you accept that it's impossible. But once you accept that it's impossible, it actually becomes possible. It's a consistency thing. I'm waking up at 4:30 a.m. every morning, and then I visualize my life because that's important as well. Visualization, seeing how you want to become. See, when I was 224 pounds, I would constantly visualize the next 20 pounds, the next 20 pounds. And then once I got down to where I'm going down now, I'm visualizing even harder. I'm seeing myself as I want to become. And that's helping me even more with my weight loss and everything. It's helping me achieve better levels of body fat. And so I want to encourage you and let you know it's possible, but the very thing that you need to do is the very thing that you're afraid to do, which is, I mean, right now, if you're heavier, then anything you do will help you melt off the fat and everything. I guarantee it, but eventually you're going to get to a point where it's ones and zeros, and is it worth you getting down to the lowest level of body fat? I can say you can look good at 12%. You can look good at 13%. I'm at roughly a borderline 10.9, 11%. I think I look fine. Like it's fine. I'm not obese. I'm actually in very good shape. But in order for me to become the leader that I want to become, the person that I know I'm capable of becoming, if I'm gonna help other people become the best versions of themselves in every area of their lives, then I need to hold myself to a deeper level of accountability. So as I share my journey with you, I want you to know it's not easy, but it's possible and it's doable, and you can do it. I guarantee you. Just put in the work, make it consistent. You know, cheat meals existed when I was 200 pounds. They existed when I was 190. Hell, they existed at 175. Oh, yeah. You know what? Weekend comes, I can overeat. And then, during the week, I'm obsessing about burning off the 2 pounds that I gained during the weekend. And that was consistent. And, man, you can be consistently at 12%, 11, 13% or so and just be coasting along. That's great. You're still doing phenomenally well. But if you want to get down to single-digit body fat, which is where I'm headed, I'm not that far away from it, and I'll continue sharing my journey with you. If you want to get down to that level, suddenly there are no more cheat meals. There's more like deficits, and then eating a little bit more than what your deficit should be, but still being within deficit. So usually I'm at 1,600 calories. Yesterday I was at 2,100 because I just had to eat. But even then, 2,100 calories is less than less than my resting metabolic rate of around 2,600. So I was still in a deficit. But these are the things that you got to do. Now, of course, once I get down to 6% body fat, then I'll be consistently consuming around 2,600 calories a day just to keep my self in shape, and that's great. I think that's a reward that's worth having. But it was because I trained myself to be able to live and thrive off of 1,600 calories a day. Who knows what I'm going to do once I get to that point, but I've learned a lot along the way, and I'm a different person than what I was last week, last year, the last decade. And I'm going to constantly be pushing myself and aiming to become the best version of myself. And I want to invite you to join me on this journey as well. And I guarantee you, you can do this. All right. So whatever your goal is, you're phenomenal. You're capable of doing a lot of things. You're capable of moving mountains. Just please drop the Twinkies, drop the ho-hos, drop the bonbons. Start measuring your calories. Know what your resting metabolic rate is. Start looking at your goals and becoming more consistent with them. If you're really overweight, losing 20 pounds is easy. It's consistency and you can do it. Sure, you can have a few cheat meals along the way. It's okay. But once you get to a point where there's a plateau, just realize that cheating your way out of a plateau is only going to make you rebound. So just take a moment to breathe and self-reflect. Start journaling, and then just let yourself be in the moment. Stare that craving in the eye, and then just let it pass by you. Start fasting. Start taking in coffee and doing all these other things. I'm not here to give you a fitness regimen. I'm not here to give you a diet plan because I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a fitness professional. Fitness is just a part of my life. And I'm hoping that the people who are watching this video, fitness is also a part of your life as well. And I want you to make it a bigger part of your life. I just want it to be one of the things that you do that helps you become the best version of yourself in every other area of your life. This will transform you socially, professionally, romantically. It'll transform your career. It'll transform your self-love. It'll transform your psychology. I'm telling you, there's a lot of goals you have in your life, and a lot of them are immeasurable, especially with entrepreneurship. If you're trying to start a business, or you're trying to get someone to like you back, or like a girl or a boy or whatever. If you're trying to travel somewhere, there's measurable points along the way, but sometimes you feel defeated and distraught. It's not happening fast enough. But fitness, putting on lifting weights, lifting heavy weights, and measuring your diet, these things, they're pretty rapid. You see the results almost immediately. So this will transform your life because you'll start to see that you are a person who's capable of achieving results. All right, I know that this has been a long video, but I made it long because I love you and I care about your success and I want you to succeed. So thank you for watching or listening if you're listening to the audio version of this. Thank you, and if you like this and if you found value in it, then please share it. All right, thank you so much, and you take care. Have a great one.